Hello, I'm Joaquin van Schoren, and welcome to the course on Machine Learning Engineering. You're looking at the website of the course, and course is comprised of Jupyter Notebooks. And the Jupyter Notebooks, as you may know, are documents where you can mix both text, the markdown, and actual code. And we will use this a lot because we really want you to understand how to train models, how to evaluate them, how to use them in practice, how to really play with them, understand them, and get to know them up close. In these notebooks, you can hide the code here for your first reading, but afterwards you do want to actually get your hands dirty and understand how to train these models yourself, and this will allow you to do that. Now, there's different ways to interact with this course. Now, the first thing you probably want to do is to download all the materials locally. So you can go to prerequisites here, and this will explain you how you can set up your local Python environment. It takes a couple of minutes to install this all, but once you have done it, it's a no-brainer. So you can just install Python using Anaconda or Miniforce if you haven't already. Probably best to create your own environment so you don't mess up with other courses and so on. And then in the end, you want to clone the materials from GitHub. Right? So if you have your terminal, I will just create a test folder for this. You can git clone all the materials here. So that's everything. That includes the notebooks, the PDFs, even like HTML versions of that. All the labs are in there. This one download will give you everything you will need for this course. And the nice thing here is also like if we, for instance, release the solutions for the labs, you can also just pull them into your local machine. Right. Okay, so while this is downloading, I'll show you some other ways of interacting with this course. So next to the notebooks, you can also watch all the materials either in HTML, right? You can just browse them online or on your phone or your iPad whenever you're bored. So you can do that as well. Or you can download PDFs, and then you can also print the materials and make handouts, do local annotations, and so on. So it's totally up to you how you want to do this. There's also, of course, the YouTube videos where I explain everything, and there's this channel here where you can see all the lectures that are coming up, and you can really look at this at your own pace. Right. Now, say you want to interact with the notebooks. So it's still downloading. But say you are in a pinch or something, you don't have time to, or there's something wrong with your environment. You can also run all of this on Colab, for instance. So Google Colab are hosted notebooks. So you can just run the materials there as well. And yeah, just run all. So this will actually allow you to interact with all the materials just in your browser without doing any installations. Right? So that's actually an option if you want to do that. Yeah, so say for instance you want to interact with this material. So here I show you some red and blue dots. So these are data sets with two classes, blue dots and red dots, and there's a classifier that wants to separate those. So this is a linear classifier. So here you see the boundary, and here you see the predictions, the probabilities that it predicts. So either very small or very large. So likely to be blue or likely to be red, and something mixed in between. So this is a linear model. You may also want to look at the simple vector machine. You can see this looks very differently, and don't worry if you don't understand all this yet, but we will see how these models actually do that, and we'll also discuss different ways that they can do that, because these methods typically have different ways to solve them, and depending on the use case, you want to use different approaches for that. So we'll get into that. Here we have also KNN classifier. It looks like this. Okay. Say you want to. I mean, the point is really that you learn how to interact with this, right? So say you want to look at how a random forest model does this. So we'll get down to all of those details, but it's actually quite easy to just change the code in ways that you want. So I'll just import the random forest classifier, and then I'll train that. So just a default fit. That's training x1, i1. That's it. And then I add it to the options here. Right, and now I'm also able to look what a forest classifier does. Okay. So if you don't understand why it behaves like this, don't worry, we'll get into that. But just to show you that you can actually interact with all these materials any way you like, right? And yeah, of course, you can also like change this, some hyperparameters, for instance. Oops, estimators. Say I want to make it larger. See how that behaves. That's also possible, right? The point is really that you understand how all this works. Good. So local, it's almost done here. So when you've done this, you'll be able to also run all the materials locally. There you go. I'll go in my directory on the master. Oops, that's not there. Oh, I forgot to go into okay, it's here. Yeah, so I can interact with these materials locally using, for instance, Jupyter Lab. And so here you will have all the materials locally. So this is now on my local machine. And now I can also interact. I can run this, all these things locally as well. And specifically for the labs, you probably want to do that here. And then you can go here and you can start solving the labs. Okay. Yeah, so it's basically just like starting to write the code for this. So here I have to build some train test flights, train the models, score them, and so on. So yeah, we will see how to do this in the first lab. The labs also have tutorials that give you a quick rundown of the most important things you need to solve the labs, so on. So most of these labs also have tutorials, and I recommend you to watch them beforehand. If you like, you can also run the labs on Colab. To say that your environment is not done yet, or you have an issue, you can also just run the labs on Colab. If you do that, just first copy it to your own drive so you can save your work, otherwise you can't save it. But then you're done and you can start doing the assignment. Okay. Finally, we have some tutorials. So if you're a bit new to the field, there's some tutorials, basics on Python, some basic models that we won't discuss in detail, so you can just recap them. And here are some recommended links to other courses, introductory courses that are very interesting additional resources to learn from. Okay, that's it, and I hope you enjoy the course. See you in the next video.